It's a beautiful morning in the neighborhood. Okay, Nix, go to the bathroom. And off he goes, racing through the neighborhood, until he finds the perfect spot.
Welcome to Yoldai's Pet Corner.
Quick question before we start. If sharks never stop swimming, does that mean the biggest shark ever was never allowed to nap? It's a silly thought, but when you're talking about a creature of unimaginable scale, even the basics become mind-boggling. Because if the legendary Megalodon needed a pillow, it would have been the size of a small boat. And that's not an exaggeration. We're talking about a creature that stretches our understanding of life on Earth. Megalodon wasn't just a big shark. It was the apex predator of its time, ruling the oceans from about 23 million to 3.6 million years ago, during the Miocene and Pliocene epochs. And to be clear, despite its monstrous reputation, this was no dinosaur. It appeared millions of years after they vanished. This was a shark. The shark, Otodus Megalodon, whose name literally means big tooth, could reach lengths of up to 65 feet and weigh over 70 tons. That's 3 times longer and 20 times heavier than the largest great white shark recorded. It was a predator larger than most whales. And how do we know all this? From the only parts of it that could withstand the pressure of millions of years, its teeth. Megalodon's skeleton was made of cartilage, which rarely fossilizes, but its teeth were built to last. They are colossal, serrated, heart-shaped relics of a bygone era, some measuring over 7 inches long, and these teeth were set in the most powerful jaws the planet has ever produced. While a human bite generates about 150 pounds of force, and a great white shark around 4,000, scientific models estimate Megalodon's bite force was an almost incomprehensible 40,000 pounds per square inch. That's enough force to crush the skull of a prehistoric whale as easily as we would bite into an apple. It wasn't just a bite, it was a catastrophic event. This immense power allowed Megalodon to hunt the largest animals in the sea, disabling them with a single devastating strike to their fins or rib cages. The teeth weren't just for cutting, they were for obliterating, and they are the key that unlocks the story of this incredible, terrifying creature. To truly understand this colossal predator, we have to travel back in time. Not to the age of dinosaurs, but to a more recent, yet still alien, world. Megalodon dominated the oceans for nearly 20 million years, ruling the waters from roughly 23 to 3.6 million years ago. This vast stretch of time covers 2 distinct geological periods, the Miocene and the early Pliocene epochs. It's a common misconception, but Megalodon was not a dinosaur. It never shared the seas with a mosasaurus or a plesiosaur. Those ancient marine reptiles vanished 66 million years ago in the same extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs on land. Megalodon emerged tens of millions of years later, during the Cenozoic era, the age of mammals. It was the undisputed king of a world that was beginning to look much more like our own. So, just how big was it? Based on the size of its fossilized teeth and vertebrae, scientists have pieced together a picture of a truly gargantuan shark. Conservative estimates place Megalodon at an astonishing 50 to 65 feet in length. That's 3 times longer than the largest great white sharks today. Its weight was even more staggering, possibly tipping the scales at 50 to 70 tons. To put that into perspective, that's the weight of a fully loaded semi-truck, or 10 large elephants. This immense size made it one of the largest marine animals of its time, larger than most modern whales, with the exception of giants like the blue whale. It was an apex predator on a scale that is difficult to comprehend. And how do we know all of this? The clues lie in its name. Megalodon is Greek for big tooth. Unlike the soft cartilage that made up its skeleton, which rarely fossilizes, its massive teeth were made of a durable, bone-like material that preserved beautifully. Over millions of years, these teeth were shed, lost, and scattered across the globe, and those teeth are the reason we know it existed at all. Each one is a time capsule, a fragment of a lost giant, telling the story of the ocean's greatest ever predator. The name Megalodon literally means big tooth, and for good reason. The largest of these fossilized teeth could exceed 7 inches long, about the size of an adult human hand. Each one is a serrated, heart-shaped blade, perfectly evolved for slicing through flesh and bone. When you see a full jaw reconstruction, lined with hundreds of these teeth in multiple rows, you begin to appreciate the scale. It's a dental arsenal unlike anything in the modern ocean. But as terrifying as these individual teeth are, they were just the tools. The real power wasn't in the blade, but in the machine that wielded it. The real terror wasn't the teeth, it was the bite. Using sophisticated computer simulations based on the shark's skull structure and muscle attachments, scientific models estimate Megalodon's bite force at a staggering 40,000 to 60,000 pounds. To put that in perspective, it's more than 10 times the force of a great white shark, and strong enough to crush a small car. This is, by a wide margin, the strongest bite force of any animal known to science. With that kind of power, Megalodon didn't need surgical precision. It was a creature of pure, overwhelming force. It didn't just bite its prey, it crushed it. Fossil evidence from whale bones shows the devastating impact. We find vertebrae with deep, gouging tooth marks and, most tellingly, rib cages that were completely shattered. The hunting strategy was brutal and effective. A single, catastrophic bite to the chest cavity could instantly disable even the largest of whales, collapsing their ribs and destroying vital organs. It was a killer perfectly engineered for the giants of the sea. Megalodon fossils have been found on every continent except Antarctica. That tells us something important. Megalodon lived in warm, shallow oceans worldwide. It likely used coastal areas as nursery grounds, where juveniles could grow large enough to avoid predators, including other megalodons. Yes, even baby megalodons had to worry about bigger ones. Megalodon was a specialized marine mammal hunter. Fossilized whale bones show bite marks that perfectly match Megalodon teeth. Instead of biting the head, Megalodon targeted fins, tails, rib cages, disabling prey first, then finishing the hunt. This wasn't chaos, it was strategy. At the time, oceans were filled with early whales, large seals, other sharks. Megalodon sat at the top. No rivals, no predators. It shaped entire marine ecosystems just by existing. But dominance doesn't mean permanence. Because something changed. Temperatures fell and ocean currents shifted. Coastal nurseries cooled, prey ranges moved, migration routes fractured across ocean basins. Prey patterns evolved, habitats and timing changed. Whales adapted, migrating farther and diving deeper. They changed where and how they fed. New predators emerged, even sharks turned on sharks. And the greatest hunter the seas had ever known began to disappear. But how? And why? That's where part 2 begins. Speaking of carnivores, here comes my little furry one. Hi Nix, how are you?
Hi, Dad. I love your stories. And if you at home enjoy them too, please, pretty please hit like and subscribe. It makes me so happy.
Hey, great job, Nix. Hey, I got an idea. Let's go to the ocean. Around 5 million years ago, Earth's climate began to cool. Ice sheets expanded. Sea levels dropped. Warm, shallow coastal waters, critical Megalodon nursery zones, started disappearing. Juvenile megalodons depended on these protected areas to grow safely. Without them, survival rates plummeted. The ocean Megalodon needed was shrinking. Cooling seas, falling shores, fewer sanctuaries. For a giant born in warm shallows, the world was closing in. That pressure would reshape the top of the food chain, and it began here, with climate and coastlines. As seas cooled, current patterns shifted. Nursery shallows lost warmth and stability. Falling sea levels exposed continental shelves. Sheltered bays turned into flats. Prey routes changed. Pods spread wider and often dived deeper. With fewer coves, juveniles stayed vulnerable longer to predators. Season by season, safe nursery windows narrowed for Megalodon families. At the same time whales were changing, they became faster, more maneuverable. better adapted to colder water. Many species began migrating long distances into polar regions, places Megalodon likely couldn't follow. Its primary food source was literally moving out of reach. Then came the competition. Late Miocene into the Pliocene, ranges overlapped, currents cooled, corridors shifted. Early great white sharks appeared, smaller, faster, and far more energy efficient. They targeted similar prey, seals, small whales, and carrion along busy coasts. But here's the difference. They needed far less food to survive. Think of it as miles per meal. Great whites could go farther, on less. Streamlined bodies, tight turns, short explosive bursts, then recovery. In cooler waters, that mattered. They handled temperature swings better, sticking with prey that Megalodon couldn't always follow. Megalodon was a powerhouse, but power is expensive. Every chase cost more, every missed strike hurt more. Meanwhile, great whites could wait, ambush, and conserve. Same ocean, same targets, very different math. In a changing sea, efficiency mattered more than size. Megalodon remained formidable, yet each season stretched its budget thinner. The balance was shifting, and the future favored the efficient. Megalodon was a specialized marine mammal hunter. Fossilized whale bones show bite marks that perfectly match Megalodon teeth. Instead of biting the head, Megalodon targeted fins, tails, rib cages, disabling prey first, then finishing the hunt. This wasn't chaos, it was strategy. Fossil evidence shows Megalodon populations declining rapidly. Teeth become rarer, nursery sites vanish, and then, suddenly, they're gone. By about 3.6 million years ago, Megalodon had disappeared completely. No survivors, no descendants. Just teeth and legends. Sediment cores reveal steady ocean cooling. Evidence appears across multiple basins. Oxygen isotope records track shrinking warm water ranges. Nurseries lost stability. In younger layers, nursery fossils thin out. Juvenile teeth become rarer. Fewer juveniles meant fewer future hunters. Populations couldn't rebound. Climate pressure and new competitors compounded. The decline accelerated toward extinction. Here's the big reveal. Megalodon didn't go extinct because it was weak. It went extinct because it was too specialized. Built for warm oceans, built for massive prey, built for dominance, not change. And when the world changed faster than it could adapt, even the greatest predator to ever live couldn't survive. Specialists thrive until conditions shift. When nurseries cooled and prey patterns drifted, margins vanished. Each migration season stretched hunting ranges, raised costs, and left juveniles exposed. The numbers no longer balanced, even for giants. Meanwhile, agile rivals filled the openings, scavenging, ambushing, enduring lean months. Energy efficiency won the long game. Fewer meals, longer range, better cold tolerance. Megalodon's blueprint, warmth, size, constant intake, became a liability, not an edge. In a cooler, quicker ocean, specialization sealed its fate. Hey, I hear Rocky, Nix, and Scooby. I wonder what they're up to. Hey, enjoying our stories? Buy my dad a coffee. Thanks. On behalf of myself, my pups, and my dad, we thank you for watching.
Please remember to like
and subscribe. We get bones.
Christmas may be over, but you know what isn't? Cats and dogs still freezing, still hungry, still waiting. This winter, your local animal shelter needs help more than ever. Please donate today and help keep them warm, fed, and safe.